All right, now it's time for the RNG. We're talking about random things happening. So, Heathen Dog, what are your musings this week?
Well, I was thinking about this as I was reading up and doing my slides for the Dark Side source book. I was thinking, man, this game got a real bad rap. I mean, it got the fuzzy end of the lollipop. I can understand why a lot of people would think that. I understand why they didn't do it because the lion's share of people I've spoken to do not like D&D 3.0.
See,
They
I
do
have a
not.
very different. Well, most people I've talked to really like D&D 3.5,
Okay.
and most of them don't like 4. I've met actually very few people who were regular D&D players who hated 3.5. But the Star Wars system was based off 3.0, not 3.5.
Yes. Yes. I mean, when the revised came out 2 years later, they tried to make changes to it. They changed it a little bit to make it a little more updated, but still it had the same feel. But
4 is an abomination. I agree.
Force Domination, yeah. Now I understand through playing an entire campaign in it, there are some things about it that are stupid, like armor is not useless. It's actually only a hindrance. Armor in this game is a hindrance because of the wound and vitality system.
Right.
Armor gives you a damage resistance, but only if you're hit.
Right. That's not part of
Well,
D&D. That's pretty unique to the Star Wars
I
system.
know exactly. Now this is why I understand so well.
Well, you can't cut off people's hands if they have armor.
Well, no. I mean, because of the vitality
No,
system,
I'm
if
just
you
making a
hit
Star
someone,
Wars joke.
I understand. If you hit someone and they have vitality enough to 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 not yet get into wounds when they take away that amount of damage, you didn't actually hit them, which means the armor doesn't work. The armor only works when your vitality is all gone and you just have wound points left.
Which seems really silly.
It is really silly. It is. And so the only time an armor is useful for 90% of for the only time the only thing an armor is doing for 90% of the fight is giving you minuses to things like jump and swim and stuff because it's encumbering.
Well, I
That's
mean,
all it's doing.
I feel like the movies, the only people who are in armor are like stormtroopers and mercenaries.
That's what I'm that segues nicely into the wound vitality system, why I love it so much. Watching the Star Wars movies as a kid, I was always wondering why. And this is where I almost made clips. Ben Kenobi was on Tatooine with Skywalker, and they saw the Jawa massacre, and he said, "You see those shots? They're so precise. Only stormtroopers can do that." And then throughout the rest of the three movies,
Yeah,
stormtroopers couldn't hit
they
crap.
fire blindly into the air. Yeah.
Exactly. Apparently, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Now I know why. And everyone can hit stormtroopers. You can almost not look and hit a stormtrooper,
Well,
right?
they're so densely packed, you know.
Yeah, but now I know why. It was because of the vitality system. Because all of the heroic classes have vitality, which means you can hit them and still not hit them. Whereas stormtroopers were a professional class, thug. They never get vitality. As they go up in level, they get skill points, they get some special abilities, they get feats, they get all that stuff, but they never get vitality.
Mm, fair
Which
point.
means every hit actually hits them. And for them, armor is actually useful 100% of the time, which is why they always wear it.
Fair enough.
I get it. The game made me understand that. I'm like, you explained an entire segment of my childhood that was unexplainable to me. Thank you, game. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Whoever made that as part of the game had to watch the movie and go, "How can I explain this?" Ha ha!
And there you go. Now, another bad part of the game, what a lot of people thought was bad, was the skill points were cumbersome. You got so many skill points every level, you had to allocate them, and it was troublesome. And that's one I don't agree with. I don't agree with it at all because at the end of every level, I'm just used to, doing the beginning of a new level. I'm used to doing housekeeping like that, adding up skill points, going through your attack bonus, see if it's changed. Has your defense bonus changed? Do you get a class feed, a class skill? a special ability or whatever. I'm used to doing that throughout genres of games. So that really didn't bother me. I don't know why they were so upset about that. It didn't bother me at all. I liked it.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I don't mind spending points. Some people actually, even in character creation, hate using points. They always want to roll their stats or some.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I got it when I was 13. But, when you get a little more mature, you're like, wow, this really is awesome seeing how everyone has all these 18s in their stats. I'm sure they all rolled those.
Yeah, I'm sure they all rolled that. Sure.
Or everyone rolls in front of you. Or you use a rolling system where it's so heavily weighted to you not rolling crap stats. Why even bothering?
Yeah. It's like you roll 8d6 and subtract and take away the lowest 5.
Right.
Like, what?
Well, you start with a base of 8, then you roll 2d6 and add it to each stat. But you get a drop, and you roll it 8 times and drop the lowest. Well, it's like, what? It's like, no, I like the point systems for even D&D.
I understand.
Creates balanced characters, and honestly, your stats don't matter that much.
Yes. Now, another thing that people hated about it was that Force users were completely OP.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah,
that's just true. Oh yeah, you are. Yep, I got nothing for that. I got nothing for it because I completely agree. Now, it didn't affect my game because I played a Jedi.
Oh, I played in the Adventurers League, and I made what's that? Not Scoundrel. Well, Luke Skywalker started as a
Fringer.
Yeah, I played a Fringer. Wow, I was the most useless character in the team. No useful skills. None.
I know. That's just the way it is. I mean, Fringers are great at scrounging up stuff, gathering information, or fixing some stuff. But that's it.
Yeah, if I was on my home planet, I was fine.
Yeah, but other than that, no.
Yeah, I made up for it with creative role playing, but
there you go.
I was almost useless.
Yeah. Now
46 dropped lowest, but ignore any 1 or 2 rolled.
Exactly. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's not just the Fringer. Compared to any Force using class, a non-Force using class is objectively not as good.
Yes.
Because a Force user can do everything that a normal person can do and more. But this is known. I mean, throughout all the movies, even the prequels, if you were a Force user, you were objectively better than everybody else. So it was written correctly for the canon. True. So you want to get mad about that? Okay, I guess you can get mad about that, or play a Force user.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, why would you play anything other than a Force user then? If you're gonna look at power levels, there's no reason to.
Yeah. But it's so easy to do a Jedi campaign, and with the Dark Side Sourcebook, it's so easy to do a Sith campaign or a Dark Side user campaign. It's simple to do that, so everyone's on the same page.
Let me add something to that.
Shoot.
I've been in I'm not gonna say a lot. I've been in a few Star Wars campaigns. And for some reason, everyone feels you got to have a Jedi or 2, which is fine. Or it's either or that's a no Jedi campaign. We're going to be different. You end up with the combat guy or guy, the mercenary guy, the pilot guy,
the slicer guy,
and then you got in a normal campaign you have your 2 or 3 Jedi. Then you got your pilot, you got your mercenary, and you got your slicer guy.
Or a doctor, maybe.
Or a doctor.
Well, no, you have the Jedi around. You don't really need a doctor.
True, but here's the thing. The pilot guy's always useless. Unless you're doing a lot of flying around missions, and even then, all you're flying around, unless the game master spends a lot of time, oh look, you're attacked in the air again, and then everyone else goes and goes outside for a coffee break while the one guy who can fly the ship and the one guy who can man the guns are like, okay, we do this maneuver and this,
Well, now I didn't think you needed a specific skill to fire guns on a ship.
You do.
You do?
There's a skill for it.
All right.
There's computer aided for it, as I remember, so anyone could do it. But largely ends up being the pilot does everything, and everyone's I guess I could attack now. So it's kind of like the classic slicer / hacker problem.
Yeah.
Where well he's in cyberspace, everyone else could do something else.
Shadowrun Decker.
Yeah, the Shadowrun Decker where I'm useless unless the adventures is specifically for me. So
and then it's specifically not for everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So
exactly right.
You really with that kind of game, you're pretty much better off just saying you're all Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's true.
Get a ride. Or you're all mercenaries. Just try to avoid Even though
You
it's
can
a trope from the film, Han Solo didn't just fly the dang plane.
no,
So,
yeah,
yes, I know it's not a plane.
I know. Yeah, and there was another one. Oh, I had it and I lost it. Dang it!
That's my fault.
It is. You went off on the thing.
I did. I took the tangent and went with it.
Yes, you did. Damn it.
But you were discussing like the classes and stats and how Jedi are objectively better than any other
Yes.
class for a reason.
They are. I mean, but it was written to be that way. I
Right.
get it. Yeah.
They
I
have the
understand.
Force.
So
They're going to be better.
they're going to be better. Exactly right. Yeah, that's the way it
They-
is. And the thing is, anyone when they get their fourth level feat can get Force sensitive.
That's true.
And then you don't even have to be trained. You can use 3 Force skills untrained, just having the Force sensitive feat, and they are useful skills.
Razor was a Corellian smuggler. That could be fun. And
It could be fun.
but then
yeah.
again, that is depending on how much smuggling you're actually doing, and how the campaign is. And
I remembered it now.
All
The multi-classing. A lot of people that I've spoken to, that I've read forums for, they hated how easy it was to multi-class.
I think it was that way on purpose.
It was that way on purpose,
Because
and
that way you could start out as a non-Jedi and become a Jedi.
it wasn't no. It was the way for non-Jedi to get skills to make them competitive.
Oh, fair enough.
But people didn't use that. Like, oh no, I'm gonna go all 20 levels of smuggler or all 20 levels of noble because every time it just gets better. No, man.
I need 20 levels of Fringer.
What's wrong with you? No. You're supposed to get a couple levels of this, a couple levels of that. Then you move over to a prestige class, get some of that, and maybe even get like my Jedi character had 1, 2, 3. I had 4 classes by the time I was 16th level.
That's
4.
impressive.
Yes, I had my first level was Force Adept. I didn't start off as a Jedi. I started off as a Force Adept. That's because of the way the campaign started. And then I went to Jedi Guardian. Then I went from Jedi Guardian to Jedi Weapon Master, and then finally I got 2 levels of Jedi Master at the end.
Sounds
But
good.
that gave me a wide array of combat abilities. Now, my partner, I had a twin brother. He was also a Jedi, and he was also a Jedi Guardian. But he went. He didn't do Force Adept. He didn't take a class until he was able to take Jedi Guardian. He took Jedi Guardian. Then he took Jedi Ace for piloting stuff. Then he took Jedi Investigator, and then 1 level of Jedi Master at the end.
There you go.
There you go. He's a kick-ass fighter, and he's a kick-ass pilot, because Jedi Ace is the Jedi pilot prestige class for fighting in small maneuverable fighters like the A-wing. Yeah, the X-wing or the A-wing or whatever like that, from the movies. So you get mad bonuses doing that. So he didn't have to dump a lot of skills. He just dumped a couple of levels into Jedi Ace, and boom, there you go. But anyone, even non-Force users, could do that. I mean, you could start off as a level of Fringer. You could go to Smuggler. Then you can have a couple of levels of Soldier to get your hit points up to get some of the cross-class skills as class skills now. And then you get Ace Pilot. There's a prestige class for Ace Pilot. Then there's a prestige class for the Bounty Hunter. You get a couple levels of that. You can get 4 levels of non-Force using class, and now you are a force to be reckoned with. A couple levels of Bounty Hunter and a couple levels of Ace Pilot make you a little mini Boba Fett.
That's true.
And with the couple levels of Smuggler in there, everything's cheaper. You can scrounge for stuff, get stuff for free. You can get deals on stuff and markets.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. And with that 1 level of Fringer, you get, I believe the first level of Fringer gives you some kind of jury rig ability where you can repair stuff on the fly.
I think so. I don't remember.
It's great. I mean, you can mix and match a lot. The whole ease of multi-classing was supposed to be for the non-Jedi's benefit, but everyone for some reason saw it as a hindrance. I don't get it. And multi-classing in the book was purposefully made very easy. They say you can take any class you want as long as the GM says it's okay, for like no reason at all, as long as the GM says it's okay. If the GM wants to put restrictions, like no, you need a trainer for this, you need a teacher, you got to put in the time, then that's the gold standard. But they don't. There's nothing in the book preventing you from taking any class at any time as long as you have the experience points.
Makes sense. I can see, and it's more fun that way, really.
Yes. So my overall experience with the game, I mean, to be fair, I played the revised edition, but it was good. I had fun doing it. I get some of the stuff, like the armor is useless. It is. It just is. It's stupid. For anyone with a heroic class, it's just a dumb idea.
Yeah.
You know, but the other round, and that force users are OP, fine. They're a little better than all non-force users, but everything else, the multi-class system, the point system, all that stuff, I really like. I'm different. I'm on the other side than most people I've talked to and read about. I'm on the other side of that. I love that part of the game, especially the vitality wound system. And for the new what was it? They have a brand new game coming out, or that's already out from First Flight Games, I think it is. It's a
sounds right.
It's the new Star Wars holder for that. They completely got rid of the wound vitality, went straight to hit points again, which sucks. I'm like, oh man. They have some kind of damage counter type thing, like a wound threshold type deal where it does stuff, but I haven't read the book, so I can't speak intelligent on that. But I love the vitality system. I loved it.
Well, you're forgetting about the Star Wars game that existed between those two, which actually used these weird dice with different symbols on it. It was like a storytelling system.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that.
It's actually a really interesting system, but I actually think it's a great system, but it has the same problem that the World of Darkness games have, in that if you don't have a good dungeon master or game master, it sucks.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Like you
have to really have a storyteller,
right? And you can do stuff like roll a critical success with complications. And so like, if you're flying for the bad guys, like, yeah, you do the roll you get between the asteroids, and you manage to shake them off, and the explosion that happens basically completely lose your signal, yay! But it scraped off your antennas, and you have to be able to just come up with something like that. Otherwise, like, I guess you got away, but you didn't, which is what the dice say.
Your vehicle took some damage, I guess.
Yeah, or I don't even know what the hell to do with that, because it'll give you some weird results. Like, you could have a failure, but also like an amazing good thing happens at the same time. You're like, so it was a really neat system, but really heavily relied on storytelling. And I just thought it was a great idea. But you had to have the right people.
Right. Yeah, if you get a critical failure, but some kind of weird roll where the critical failure also has some kind of boon effect for you, it would be something like you completely miss your objective with your bullet, but it bounces off two walls and hits a guy behind you who was going to hit you with a sap or something like that.
Well, it's something like, what is it, like you could have, I forget the exact way it could work, but it's something like you could actually, like, let's say you're in combat, you can have a critical failure but have a social critical success at the same time. So
you failed, but you look good doing it.
Yeah, or like, let's say you failed, you lose the fight, you get captured, but it turns out one of the guards who captured you falls in love with you.
Oh, nice.
Stuff like that is what, just weird stuff you wouldn't even think of happening because you got those wacky results. Usually stuff like that didn't come up, but it could, and that was like, it forced GMs to think on their feet, and some players loved it, some GMs loved it. A lot of people were like, this is just too weird, because it also wasn't like a 1 through 5 result. It would like be a weird symbol.
Right. Got it. I understand. But yeah, that is my take on the Star Wars D20 game. I loved it. There is some legitimate gripes about it, but overall, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was a good game.
I'll agree with you there. Overall, I liked it. It was a good system. It was a lot more intuitive to use than like the West End Games D6 system.
God, that was so clumsy.
It was an interesting system.
It was really good. It was just painful to play it.
It was weird especially I'm used to like a D20 system. It was so weird with that D6 system. But the D6 system did have some interesting flexibility.
It did.
It was just hard playing weird to work with, to get your mind around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heathen Dog.
You're welcome.